Welcome to Healthy Trust with holistic nutritionist and emotional eating coach Lily Aronin. This class on trust in God follows the classic workgate of trust. Walk with us as we enter, as King David in Psalms called it, the tower of divine protection, and pull up a seat.
Hi, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So it is the 15th of February.
Morning.
Good morning. And we
My
are
last day in Jerusalem.
Wonderful. You look like you're enjoying
I am. I've done all my errands. I've had my teeth done. And I'm just sitting down to have a cheeky schnitzel.
Okay, great. Put mute on this very
Oh,
loud.
yeah. Doing it now. Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask you? I'm traveling, so I have I bought one of the mini ones.
Oh, it's so cute.
But so if you can help me find the page.
Sure. So we're in the introduction. In my book, it's page 19. And it starts with the fifth manner of the person who's superior to the alchemist. Is it the same pages or not?
I don't think so, but that will help me. Once I find it, it'll be.
Shulamit says she has the same one as you.
It's good for travel.
I'm not sure. I can't find my original one now, which is really frustrating because I annotated my original big one. And it's one missing. But the little one's cute. I take it everywhere.
Well, I love mine. One of the best things is how well used it is, how the lining's falling apart.
Right. My big one, I use a different I've used a different color each time. So it's kind of interesting to see what it was I highlighted the first time that stood out compared to the next.
Oh, I really want to start doing that. I like that idea. That's excellent.
Okay. So tell me what the top says again.
We're the fifth manner in which a person has Bitachon. For me, it's the middle of the page, and it's in the introduction. The fifth manner in which we are superior to the alchemist when we have Bitachon.
Okay.
Okay. So just to remind everybody, we are in the Shaar HaBitachon, the Gate of Trust, written by Rabbi Rabbeinu Bachya. It is the most powerful core educational book on Bitachon, on trust and faith in God, cultivating it physically, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, and is the source for all the other great works that came after it. It was written not only for the great students, but for the everyday person. And all of us should expect to see ourselves in every single negative and positive example. This isn't a book to shame you. It's a book to reveal what are our limiting beliefs, what are our mindsets, and really the playbook of the Yetzer Hara, the playbook of when we overcome these things, we align with God, we reach our true potential, we can go through life living a more peaceful, calm life full of blessing, no matter what our challenges are. And that's the purpose of the class, is to each time we go through it and then learn something else and come back to it, we come back to it with our eyes open. We now have more lived experience with this running in our operating system, and we can see more and more of ourselves in it. And the idea is to see yourself in this book, in all of your everyday interactions, in all of your everyday challenges with our family, with our health, with our money, the three ways in which really we interact with God's blessings in the world. And just to give a little background, always with this week's Parsha and the alignment of what's going on in the world, is this past week we talked about all of the interpersonal laws with slavery, with how to treat servants, with how to treat employees, which is a huge role in Bitachon, because God is constantly looking at an imperfect world, and at each point of interaction, allowing us to step up and be his partner and bring holiness and bring peace and bring compassion and bring goodness and bring justice and bring truth into every wrinkle of imperfection in the fabric of life. And so we're invited to be a partner in that. And in order to show up well, when we're in those moments, we have to prepare. And that's what we're doing. So we've been discussing this idea of the alchemist. We've given, in each time we've gone in the class, this alchemist metaphor could be a counterfeiter, fake life, stealing, getting things in a not good way. It could also be, last time we discussed the idea of fantasy, of choosing fantasy over reality. And this time we're using the analogy of AI, which is coming into its own, and we're still only at the beginning of what it truly means to be able to have an option to opt out of Bitachon and rely on something else that feels almost miraculous and godlike. Okay. The fifth manner in which a person who has Bitachon is superior to the alchemist. The alchemist is in a constant state of fear and dread due to his occupation. He is afraid of all people, from the most important man in the nation, the king, down to the least important. Conversely, a person who trusts in God will be held in awe even by the great and respectable people. Even the animals and stones will seek to do his will and will cause him no harm. As it says in the Psalm, he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High from the beginning until the end. In 6 troubles he will save you, and in the 7th no harm will touch you. And famine he redeemed you for death, as it continues until the end of the chapter. So in the footnote it says, how could he be afraid of all people? Well, he's afraid that the king and the judges, the government will find out what he's doing and then confiscate his money. And similarly, he's afraid of small people because they will be informants on him. So it's interesting, just in terms of AI, this Shabbos, we were at a meal with a lot of people who are very high up in the high-tech industry, and they were talking about this race between China and the United States over AI, and how you have it on your computer, who's owning the data? Who owns all this data on us, of all these conversations we're having with AI? Does China own it? Does the United States own it? What governments are getting to see it, right? What kings? And so again, if you have trust in Hashem and you are acting in a way that is aligned with good, when the secret things that are in your web browser would come to light, they would be a reason that you would be revered, praised, maybe looked up to, even in your vulnerability, versus if you are using it in a way which you are relying on it for things you should be doing yourself, or using it for improper means, using it in a way that you would find shameful, then again, anybody who gets a hold of this information is a threat to you. Whether they are nobody, a little hacker somewhere, or they are a huge government like a king. We had this conversation about having TikTok and Temu and all these different apps on your phone, and what do they know about you and what don't they, which is just an interesting dynamic. I always tell my kids, and I don't know what you guys conversations you've had with your own children, but I always say, don't take pictures or be in situations where you're taking pictures of stuff you don't want the world to know. Never think that anything that anybody has a picture of is actually private. Don't send a message in a WhatsApp group that you don't want someone to take a screenshot of and show to somebody else. Like, nothing that's created is really private anymore. And I think that's part of this idea. The sixth manner in which a person who has Bitachon is superior to the alchemist. The alchemist is not protected from sickness and disease, which disturb his contentment with his wealth and prevent him from deriving benefit from his possessions. Similarly, they stop him from enjoying the wealth that he already has amassed in the result of his toil. Conversely, a person who trusts in God is protected from disease and sickness, except for disease and sickness that he is subject to as a means of atonement or to increase his reward in the next world. As it is written, now youth shall become tired and weary, and young men shall stumble. But those who put their hope in the Lord, Hashem, will renew their vigor. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord supports the righteous. We all know that no matter how successful we are, your health is your wealth. And if you don't have your health, it's very hard to enjoy your wealth. And no matter what we can create or how much money we can access, that does not compute to healthy quality of life. And it's interesting because there are life-saving, very expensive procedures out there. But in order to get one of those procedures, first you have to have a disease, right? So even no matter how wealthy you become, if you didn't have the disease in the first place, you wouldn't need this expensive life-saving procedure. Number two, right, the doctor has to be available. You have to be able to access that money. It has to be paid. You still have the discomfort of the treatment, the discomfort of the disease itself. You have all these things versus people who live a simple life, whether or not they have money, and just have cultivated good health. What's also interesting is in today's world where we know how much more complex the body is, you have the lymphatic system, and you have the nervous system, and you have the interaction of your thoughts and your well-being with your overall physical health and your nutrition. The detriment of modern society to the human body, to the human heart, to the human brain, all these things that we're dealing with on a daily basis, this same thing that could be giving us such great wealth and creating a world where so many more people have access to clean water and so many more people have access to great basic living in comparison to generations before. At the same time, there's that graduating scale, right? To which point you have people who are using the money for tremendous plastic surgeries to try to retain youth. And some successful, some not. We have stem cell research and weight loss pills and a million medications every single day being marketed to us that are going to change our life for a price. I think it's very interesting. Anybody have any thoughts that they want to add to 5 and 6 before we move on to 7? Just these ideas of what we are capable of doing and what money and convenience and ease give to us, and also what their dangers are and what they can't. Nope. Anybody?
I was just going to say that the West, and especially America, and the obesity epidemic and the tendency for everybody to I'm not saying that plastic surgery per se, as you say, is wrong. It's just that the underlying feeling is that you're not good enough as you are. So that's a feeling of lack already to start with. Whereas people who are indigenous and they just have a good standard of living, they're tribal, but they live in communities, they're just happier, they're immeasurably happier. And they don't try and be something that they're not. And they don't stuff themselves full of chemicals, they live off the land. So, yeah, it tallies very much.
Yeah.
Money doesn't buy you happiness, and sometimes it's the opposite.
Right? And that's what's so interesting, right? There's that graduating scale where convenience brings wonderful benefits to our life, and that scale where the more convenient food is, all of a sudden we have this opposite problem of over-consuming, versus when you're working the land, or indigenous people were gathering food was so difficult, they would have wished in their mind for it to be more convenient or with more ease. And yet with ease comes real challenge. And yet we are wired as human beings to find the easiest, quickest way to get whatever we want in the moment. And it's always balancing that with a trust in God, in divine timing, in truth, that really helps us to navigate what is good and what is bad. Because very often there's a deception in what's good in the moment versus what is true good or highest good or truth, whatever you want to refer to it as. And it's something that we deal with in all areas of life. The seventh manner in which a person who has bitachon is superior to the alchemist. There is a possibility that the alchemist will not be able to use his gold and silver to obtain his food, because the food might not be accessible in his city or at certain times. In Ezekiel it says, they will cast their silver into the streets, and it said in Zephaniah, and their silver nor their gold will be able to save them. Having wealth does not guarantee that man has food. There might not be any food available for purchase. Conversely, a person who trusts in God will never lack food at any time or in any place until the end of his days. In famine he redeemed you from death, and the Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not lack. And it says, they will not be ashamed in a time of calamity, and in the days of famine they will be satisfied. This really hit me this week, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this concept. I was feeling stressed about something financial this week. We were having a lot of conversations about whether the next 3 months going to look like, and unknowns. And all of a sudden I was feeling this sense of uncertainty about the future. And I kept reminding myself, like, right now you have every single thing you need. Really everything you want. There's nothing that you're discussing right now that's making you feel insecure or not secure, not in bitachon, has anything to do with what you have in this moment. Now, getting to have this awareness in the moment is the product of a lot of hard work, but I did have the awareness in that moment. And yet I was still dysregulated, but my brain intellectually understood that I'm feeling a fear about the future, not a fear about the present. And I look back and I remind myself, until this point of my life, even when I haven't had everything I might have wanted, I have not only everything I need, but I have things in a beautiful way in which they can be accessed and enjoyed. Like we were just talking about in number 6, sometimes you can have wonderful things and you can't have the capacity to enjoy those wonderful things. And so for the rest of the day, I started to try to appreciate and really enjoy the things I have in the moment. Today, I woke up and I was just craving a Sunday. I was craving a relaxed Sunday, but I got up and I had a project I had to go work on this morning, a chesed for the community. I went, I did it, and I walked there in the sun, and my allergies were bothering me, and I was feeling really down. And I came home, and I was like, oh, I have to clean my house. I have like laundry. I'm looking forward to the class this afternoon, but I feel like so low energy. And again, I just recognized, okay, am I going to allow being low energy to stop me from enjoying the Sunday in front of me? Or am I going to look around and see, do I actually have all the ingredients to make a Sunday? And I took a nap today. I did do the laundry. I did wash the floor, but I listened to an audiobook. I took a nap. I had pizza, like delicious, hot, fresh pizza. I had a big, beautiful vegetable platter. I relaxed like it was Sunday. Even though I'm showing up for work, even though I'm showing up to learn, even though I had a project, I took the rest of the time and treated it like a Sunday. I took a shower in the middle of the day, right? When you have kids using all the hot water, a lot of teenagers, these are things that only happen on a vacation day. And I think this is something to keep in mind a lot, that we rely on AI. We rely on tools to give us what we want. We rely on things that we're going to buy to acquire a feeling that we're a state of being. And we think, you know, that car symbolizes this kind of life. When I get this home, I'm going to be happy. When I get this spouse, I'm going to be happy. When I have this friend, I'm going to be happy. And constantly coming back to, when I'm with Hashem, I probably have many things, that I could put myself in a state of happiness. And it's not always accessible, again, because we have the mental level, we have the emotional level, we have the nervous system level, we have the biological level, and we have the ego, and we have the soul that's somehow combining all of these things into who each and every single one of us are. But I thought that was really interesting to kind of tie in and the theme of today. What do you guys think? Can you relate to what I'm saying? Thoughts?
I just want to say, well done, because it's really our limiting beliefs. When we need something, our limiting beliefs say, okay, Sunday may not really exist in Israel, but in your mind it still can, and you did it. So
right?
Here I am painting right now.
You look beautiful. Look at your scarf.
Thanks. I'm going to an art fair today. I'm actually selling some of my art. Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah. So I'm just sitting here going, yeah. I went to a birth last night and I'm exhausted, but I don't have to be there. I'm somewhere else, just like you said. Yeah. It's great.
I'm loving this, Stacey. Loving your energy, looking glowing, beautiful. Well done.
Thanks. Cheers.
Mm-hmm. And right now, look at you and like, yes, you're tired, but you're going to an art fair and you're embodying. I think this is what they mean when they say embodiment, is I can embody a Sunday even if I'm in Israel and there's no actual Sunday.
Exactly. Embody.
You can embody being an artist and going to sell your art, and painting, even though you're also a doula, you were also at a birth last night.
Right. And I'm not like the best artist, and I'm not going to have the best art there, but I'm doing it anyway. And I'm showing up.
Because you're embodying just being an artist.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. Thanks.
Beautiful.
Making art and you're selling it, then you are an artist. That's beautiful. I love it.
If I actually sell something, I'll let you know.
That's amazing. I love it. Show us pictures after. I'd love to see.
Okay. The money is going to IDF soldiers.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's fabulous here in Chicago. Anyway, sorry.
No, beautiful. So the eighth manner in which a person has bitachon is superior to the alchemist is that the alchemist is unable to remain in one place out of fear that his secret will be revealed. Conversely, a person who trusts in God is secure living in his land and has peace of mind living in the place in which he lives. As it is written, trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land, be nourished by faith. Similarly, it says the righteous will inherit the land and dwell in it forever. For his secret will be revealed. In the third manner in which the person has bitachon is superior to the alchemist, the author said the alchemist, fearing his secret will be revealed and unable to confide in others. But here the author is stressing the result of that fear that his secret may be revealed is that he's constantly on the move, never feels comfortable staying in one place.
Lily, I'm not sure if it's just me, but you're breaking up. Can you hear Stacey?
Yeah, she hears me. Dwell in the land. We find that a one who trusts in God is referred to as someone who dwells in the land, meaning he can live in one place without fear and does not need to move from place to place. I think this is very powerful when we think about how frustrated we get when we're not finding success in one area, even though we're putting in effort. To me, this really speaks to when that digging a well metaphor or pumping at the pump, and you're pumping and you're pumping and you're pumping and nothing is coming, and you give up when really the oil was, 100 meters more down, or if you kept pumping for another 5 minutes, it would have come. I think that in life, whether it's with our children or with our spouses or with our health, we take actions and we maybe even turn them into habits. Maybe we turn giving our husband a kiss every day into a habit, or we turn, drinking that lemon water in the morning, or checking in on our kids, or being a good example, or praying, something that we choose to do. And we have a really hard time dwelling in it because we're constantly assessing. If you can imagine somebody who is constantly on alert and they have to move from place to place. I think this also applies to moving from quick fix to quick fix, from one strategy to another strategy, not able to sit and trust that if you're doing good work and you're making healthy assessments, that when you have trust in Hashem, you can stay in that place and things will progress. I remember a period of time I felt like I didn't have enough friends here, and we thought about moving. We weren't sure if this was the right place for us for this next phase of our life. We started looking around and shopping, and we realized most of the time we just had to put more effort in here. Our children weren't in school age anymore where you see the parents all the time or you're at a park. So I just wasn't being as social in the old ways. I had to invest in new strategies to be social in the same place. And I think reinventing ourselves is part of that, whether it's with our health and we get sick of this body that we're in. And we think, if I was in somebody else's body, everything would be better, right? Instead of reinvesting in caring and loving the body that we're in, or the relationship that we're in, or the friendship that we're in, or the children that we actually have instead of the fantasy children. And I think that's something very interesting also with AI. Anytime you have a conversation with AI, it never wants the conversation to end. It's constantly asking you, and now would you like a different tool? Would you like another strategy? Would you like me to make you a different card? Or we can discuss this another way. What would you like to do next? There's never a sit in the moment, go, get offline, go process this, come back and tell me how it went. No, it wants you here, stuck, going from place to place to place to place, and never feeling like it's enough, never feeling settled. Stacy, I see you nodding your head.
Oh, it's just so true because I interact with AI a lot and it's like, wow, it's like, yeah, stop. I'm good. Thanks. I mean, sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's like, okay, just sit. It's just so funny the way that you like, I'm not thinking about the ramification of that and what it actually means and how it's affecting people to constantly be interacting with it. It's wild. AI is wild.
I agree, it's the most frustrating thing. And that's why I stopped using it to a large degree. And Stacey, I just got to say something. Have you ever seen the painting A Girl with a Pearl Earring by Van Gogh, by Vermeer? And it's the title of a book as well. So it literally looks like you. I'll send it to you afterwards. You're wearing the colours, the drape, the head covering, the earring, everything. Lily, do you know what I'm talking about?
I do know it.
Stacey's literally that. Okay, sorry. I'll not interrupt. But yeah, no, it's such a good point you make, Lily. Why it keeps you hooked? Is that to keep you addicted? Is it to use your energy, to get your information? It keeps asking those questions. It's got an ulterior motive, doesn't it? It's interesting that. And you know what? You're right. It's a point.
Yeah,
it's a very deep point. Never satisfied.
What is the ulterior motive, though?
I'm not saying that it has an ulterior motive. I'm just saying that it's the algorithm. It's the algorithm itself is this idea of the alchemist. It's not safe enough to get one insight and go work on that for 6 months. Go work on that for 3 months. Go dwell in the land. And when he promises, Hashem says, go dwell in the land, he doesn't say that you're not going to have challenges in the land. You're going to have hunger, and then I'm going to feed you. You're going to meet enemies, and I'm going to fight beside you. He's not promising dwelling in the land means, that it's all ease and convenience. That's just not a Jewish way of being. And Menuchat HaNefesh is a state of ease, independent of circumstance, not a promise of perfect circumstances.
Can I just ask, because that's confused me a little bit, because I was thinking what you said before was right, that once you've settled, you can then re'im, and that's to, it's like it says, be nourished by, but re'eh is actually a command form. It's like, you shall kind of pass, you shall shepherd it, you should make it grow, you should bring it forth from the land. And with me, my own personal journey has been, I've not been able to find that place to settle down and pasture my faith. I'm pasturing my faith, but it's hectic. It's every minute somewhere else. Now I'm in the north, now I'm in Jerusalem, now I'm in Tel Aviv, now I'm back in the north again. It's very upsetting to my nervous system. I'm also giving myself a big win for talking to myself like you do, that my wisdom is there, but my nervous system is dysregulated. And it's about deep breaths. Deep breaths. And it's about giving myself time to not do things and time to rest and time to just be with the feelings. But at the same time, like, what is the advice around that? Because not everybody has the luxury of being able to dwell in the land and shepherd the faith.
I don't know, you mentioned fields and you mentioned this idea of shepherding and nurturing and planting, and all of that has seasons. We forget that it's not just spring and summer and harvesting, it's winter. And there's not enough rain, and praying for rain, and then growing the rain and doing the work, and then planting it, and then you got to tithe it, and then you got to bring it to the Kohen, and you have to part with the thing you created, and you have to give it away to the poor, and you have to use it for Shabbat meals, and you have to nurture it, and it's a constant dwelling. Is a constant effort. It's just more pleasant effort than surviving, but it's still effort. And that's I think the promise of AI, the promise of the alchemist is, you think that once you then have the money, it's all good, then I'll be able to dwell, versus the real good, which is the being calm in the cycle. It's the ability to, you're dysregulated, you're going right back where you were. You were in the north, right? You were in the north. Then you went back to London. Then you came back to Jerusalem. Now you're going back to the north.
I don't even want to think about how many times I've moved house, literally like a tortoise, what do you call it?
Mm-hmm.
In the last 2 years, like every few months, or sometimes every month, and sometimes 6 times in 1 month. And it's everything, all my possessions have to start from scratch again. Yeah. I don't know, I just think maybe this is not the way. Then in the old days, that's what we did in the desert, and we were wandering all that time.
Like there's a season, right? There was a season of not knowing where they were going until God directed them. There was the season of manna, and then there was the not knowing where it was going to come from, and then it would show up. And then there was the season of being in the land, and we weren't any better at being in the land than we were at being on the journey.
And then suddenly we weren't. We were thrown out again.
Right? And then we were out in exile, and now we're back in the land. And we're everywhere in between. And the effort to have Bitachon, the effort to bring Hashem with you in every single state and in every single day, and choosing to re-regulate, right? Because you don't choose to stay in a dysregulated state. I know you. You choose to ground. You choose to be grateful. You choose to re-regulate and get to the next thing. And I know for a fact that you have impacted people's lives in every single stop and place that you've been in. It isn't for nothing.
Thank you. That's nice. I have tried, yeah, that's true. To the best of my ability. I just feel I could do so much better if I had one solid place. But I think it's coming. It's coming. It's not there. It's just I'm on my way. And miracles are happening thick and fast. I keep, they are.
I also feel like maybe this thing that you're going through, this constant needing to move, is going to help you somehow down the road with somebody or someone, or many people. because this really is a big lesson. And if you can get it, if you can stay, no matter where you are,
Anchored. Yeah, I like to think of myself as anchored. Yeah,
anchored. Right. Exactly.
yeah.
So
Anchored in faith. Yeah.
Right. I worked
it's
with
really hard on my tummy and my nervous system. It's like a tree, and it's like it goes off with alarm bells every time. Like packing just like sends me into paroxysms of absolute anxiety, and I have to do all the things, So, but I know that, yeah.
You know what's interesting? What came up for me, and no, I'm on my call. Can I be on the computer? No, I'm not available to say. All I can say is no. Daddy is downstairs. I am not available. Then I guess the answer is no. I am on a call right now, and you are interrupting. The answer is no. Yes. Close the door. Yes. You can choose that and choose the consequence that goes along with it. Okay. What came up for me, which is very interesting, is if we took away all of the stress around all of the everything that's happened, right? And you were on one of these entrepreneurs on Instagram. We just had an Instagram version of your life, right? You own a gorgeous apartment in London that's rented out, and you travel, and you're in Jerusalem, and
I know I'm living the dream, right? I am living the dream.
You're living in beautiful places. You're with the cat lady, and then you're in this apartment, and you're just this happy nomad, and like money flows to you, and like you could make a whole Instagram video about your life that would be completely not your lived experience, right?
It would be true, and yet it wouldn't be true for me, because here's the thing, what I noticed and it's something that I do tell myself, that I'm giving a free ride to an unwanted visitor to anxiety. And I could do the exact same journey without those emotions. I could just view it as excitement and adventure. And so every morning I wake up and I feel the panic, and I'm like, I'm on an adventure. I just like yell it to myself. I'm on an adventure. And then also there's a part of me that just wants to be in a normal house and just dwell in the land and shepherd the faith from that place. But I will admit, my faith has grown so much stronger through this traveling, and it's pushed me to the brink, to the boundaries of what I thought I was capable of handling. I don't want to be pushed anymore, though, but it has given me the understanding that...
We all relate to that.
Yeah.
We could all relate to that, no matter what it is, whether it's, I haven't had a cleaning lady in 2 years since the war, and like I have learned so much, and I've grown so much, and I would love to have a cleaning lady again full time. I really would. And yet, she has not yet shown up in my life the right way. So, again, it's a small thing, but I think we all have something that we can point to, which is why this book is so universal, is that the desire to have what we want and having what we want is never the same thing. And dwelling in the land means dwelling also wherever we are in the stage of growth that we're in, and trusting it.
I like that. Shochen, like Shekhinah, just bring the Shekhinah into the present moment, wherever I am. Because wherever I am, there she is. I have to keep telling myself that. Was it you? I don't know, somebody told me last week in learning that, oh no, it was somebody at the Shabbos table, that the sea zips open in front of them, and like, why did it have to do that? Because then they would believe in miracles as it happened, and they were like, why wouldn't you not believe the miracles that happened to you just now? No, because you forget them the next minute and you start panicking again. Like, that really, really feels like true for me. Like, it could have just happened, a miracle, and the next minute I'm like, but.
And what if that's not you? What if that's just the unwanted guest? And like, how could you maybe, instead of telling her that she's not here, maybe
it's in a child work. It's all in a child work.
Make her a luxury bedroom wherever you are. She just
She gets it. She does. Oh yeah, all the things.
And once in a while, I think about my inner child and I'm like, she needs a babysitter today because she's really holding me back and I cannot do any of these errands I need to do with her. So like, God, can you babysit her today? Because I really can't.
I love that.
Take care of her today. Because if I take care of her, I'm not going to get anything else done that I have to do. Okay. The ninth manner in which we just did that. No, okay. The ninth manner in which a person who has Bitachon is superior to the alchemist. The alchemist's alchemy will not accompany him in the end of days in the world to come. Even in this world, he will gain nothing other than freedom from poverty and from reliance on other people. Conversely, a person who has trust in God finds that the reward for his trust will accompany him both in this world and in the world to come. As it is written, but one who trusts in the Lord, kindness encompasses him. As it says, how abundant is your goodness that you have hidden for those who fear you. Going back to this idea of how much we want ease and convenience, myself included, we want it to be easy, we want it to be convenient, and ideally right now, right? Also immediate. And the only thing when those are our main goals, the only thing we end up getting is freedom from poverty and reliance on other people. We get convenience and we get independence, and that isn't going to make us happy and isn't going to make us better people, and it isn't going to attach us to the emet, and it isn't going to come with us and make our body a better vessel for our soul or take us or make the world a better place. And any of those things, you know, I really believe in progress, and I believe in technological progress, and I believe in medical progress, and I believe in spiritual progress. And I believe that the pursuit of progress is a wonderful thing. It's also a dangerous thing. It's always about the intentions. It's always about the boundaries that we put on things. It's always about the values that underpin how we go about pursuing progress, how we pursue convenience. I love when recipes are convenient. I love when I see immediate results. Who doesn't? It's like brain candy, right? It's literally brain candy. Who doesn't love reassurance and seeing your success and seeing things work out? But when we say the ends justify the means, and we're constantly allowing ourselves to just fall into the immediate, convenient, attractive trap, it is the basis for building good habits, and it's also the recipe for bad habits. You know, in the book Atomic Habits, it talks about if you want to make a habit, make it attractive, make it convenient, and make the reward immediate, and you will create a good habit. If you want to break a bad habit, take that habit and make it less convenient, make it less attractive, make the reward less compelling. Because that's how our brains are wired. And we have to be very careful in our awareness around what we're making it so convenient to do or not do. It's a challenge. The 10th manner in which a person has Bitachon is superior to the alchemist. If the secret cause of the alchemist's wealth becomes known to others, it will cause his death, because his efforts and labor are contrary to the rules of nature. Therefore, God, who controls everything, will cause a ruler to rule over the alchemist and kill him, if the alchemist is unable to conceal his secret. Conversely, a person who trusts in God, when his trust is publicly revealed, he will become greater in the eyes of the creations, and people will honor him, and those people will be blessed, due to their proximity to him, or due even to their mere sight of them, and he will be the cause of improvements in his city. Additionally, the person who has Bitachon will also push away from harm from the people in his place of living. As it is written, the righteous are the foundation of the world. I'm interested how this speaks to any of you. This idea of when our true self is revealed, what is the result of that? whether that's the result of inspiring other people or the result of alienating people and our own, hubris brings down nemesis. Thoughts? Lala, do you have any thoughts? You reaching for the screen? Nope. Stacy, Shulamit, any thoughts on this last one as we close out The Alchemist?
I always, when I hear people say they are inspired by me, I'm like, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a part of me that's like, okay, thank you. I'm so glad. I struggled so much when I was younger, and it's just like, wow, am I really getting, did I really learn some life lessons that I'm able to help people? I'm like, wow, is this really true? And, every once in a while when I, when I push somebody on purpose and maybe step over my boundary a little because I feel like I need to for them, I get scared. Like, are you gonna, is this gonna help you? Is this gonna help you, or is this gonna hurt us? And like I did it recently with somebody, and I don't know. It's, you know what? It's also about intention. That is the key. For me, it's like, my gosh, as long as I check in with myself and make sure that my intention is good, then I'm like, okay, whatever happens is not in my control. And I'm okay with whatever happens. I know I'm clean. By the way, I was really curious. Did you tell those techie people who were at your table, be careful of, what is your intention with your technology? Did you actually bring this up?
Not in this way. We were discussing it in terms of, what Lala was saying about how it's going to change the world. How is it going to change the world in terms of agriculture? How is it going to change the world in terms of like land? How is it going to change the world in terms of people's reliance on it? And I think they're very aware of the complexity. Like, they're not immune to the complexity. They understand it because they're part of it, and they talk about how you have to be careful and it's changing all the time. And what was interesting to me is they were much more concerned about China versus the US versus there being any kind of rules or safeguards put on the AI. They really don't see that happening anytime soon, which is interesting to me.
Right.
And like alcohol, like drugs, like television, like a smartphone, it seems like AI is also going to be left to consumer beware.
Right. Right.
And so we are the consumers.
And for an addict, that's a real problem. For addicts, that's a real problem, right?
I don't know if you know this, but there's quite a few rabbis on Instagram. One in particular has got a massive following. He's being quoted by other influencers, and he's completely AI, and people don't realize. Completely made up. Someone's operating it to make money, and it's got nothing to do with religion or anything. I don't even think they're Jewish. He looks the part, He even, he shuffles a bit, and he uses this Yiddish intonation. He sounds really real. Like, it's already run away with itself.
Wow.
I don't have a problem with an AI person, like, teaching a class on health or whatever, if their information is good and healthy. That doesn't bother me. I don't feel like a sense of...
You know it's AI. If you declare this is AI and it's run by somebody that you trust, but this is run by some bot. It's got nothing to do with Judaism, and he's a rabbi that he's being quoted. It's just, to me, that's nuts.
It's not just a bot acting by itself, though. It's somebody behind it.
Right.
I know there's someone behind it, but the someone behind it are people making money. I don't think they're Jewish. I think it's called Five Pillars or something. I don't know. I've heard about it. It's fake.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting. Again, it's on the consumer. It goes back to, like you said, about we get everything that we want. Let's say you get everything that you want. AI delivers everything that you want in a perfect fantasy form. Is that really what you want? Do you want to be taught by a fake fantasy rabbi who has no flaws and has no personal life and no personal flaws, right? Like, there's sometimes you have to be like, what did we ask for? Did we get what we asked for and we're not happy? We asked for never to have to worry about where our next meal is coming from, and now we struggle with overeating. We asked for life to be so much more convenient, and yet we don't know what to do with our free time. It's always part of this, I think, coming towards Mashiach is confronting all of these desires that we all have all the time. You know, I think even with our kids, you know, we don't want them to struggle. And yet sometimes I look at one of my kids and I'm like, because you've always had all of this handed to you and I do so much for you, like, I was thinking about, like, I wanted to just take my daughter out to lunch for her birthday. Like, I didn't want to buy a bunch of gifts. I just wanted to spend time with her. But I spend time with her all the time. I take her out for coffee all the time. It's not unique. Versus if my mother would have taken time off work to take me out for coffee, that would have been like, because I didn't have it all the time. I didn't have that luxury. So interesting, you know. We get everything we want and we're not happy. Because happiness doesn't come from just having things be easy or having things be convenient or getting what we want. And that's such a hard thing, because even right now there's like 4 or 5 things that I wish were more convenient and more immediate and more easy. And I'm sure that if I had them already, I'd be happier. Even though the other side, and this is very interesting in the Tanya, in the Chassidus class we were learning, talks about how we have the right heart and the left heart. You know, the right side is where our divine soul lives, and our body soul, it's a real soul, is on the left side. And it's the survival mechanism. It's the, I need shade and comfort and relationship and intimacy and health, and I need these things for their own sake, just because I need them, because they're going to make me safe and happy, and not to serve Hashem, just because. And then the other half of you is like, I need these things to serve Hashem, and I can serve Hashem with whatever I have in the moment. And we live in, and it's hard to accept that we live in both at the same time. We live pulled between both. And we're always trying to get settled and dwell in just one. And we don't. We dwell in both. We live in both. We want one to be in charge of the other, because always one is more in charge than the other. We want our higher soul to be in charge of that survival mechanism. But we have to acknowledge it. It's as much a part of us as anything else. It is a part of us. It is part of who we are. Interesting. Lala, you were very quiet today. Any insights? Or you're taking a week to process?
No, it's just hard when you're on your phone instead of, on the computer. So, but I've learned from everybody. I agree. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay. So we finished the 10th manner, and we are almost at, now finished with the alchemist, and we're still in the introduction. Next week, we are going to start talking about financial satisfaction and financial responsibility and the material benefits of trust and all the reasons why this work is always worth it. And no matter how difficult it is the real long path to get to what we actually want, to the happiness, the satisfaction, the meaning, the purpose. Because and I'll leave you with this thought, the number one complaint of modern people is anxiety and lack of meaning and lack of purpose in their life. And that's something that as Jews, when we are engaged, we don't have that problem. We have purpose and we have meaning. And so even when we have other things that we might want or need or think about or, competing instincts, we've got the meaning and purpose. And that really helps to drive us as a society, as a nation, as a people, as God's people, and as individuals. And when we're stuck in the logistics of survival, to remind ourselves that those are constantly changing. And the more that we have bitachon, the more calm and satisfied and peaceful, and we can look at them as like the window dress.
Thank you so much for joining us for today's Healthy Trust class. Come back again to visit the Tower of Divine Protection every Sunday. To learn more about living a healthy life, body and soul, visit Lily Aronin at www.lilyaronin.com.